Okay. Or I can do a custom character. Create your own rogue trader from scratch. The possibilities are endless when it comes to customizing your character, choosing their homeworld, gender, background, and more. You can also choose from a variety of combat, social, and technical skills and abilities which determine how your character interacts with the world and what kind of challenges they are capable of overcome. Finally, you can choose your character's archetype. Each archetype path offers its own unique set of opportunities and challenges to choose wisely. With all of these customization options at your fingertips, you can create a truly one-of-a-kind rogue trader and embark on an adventure unlike any other in the world of Warhammer 40k. No green. Disappointed.
Excellence matters. New challenge for...
Fire the lance batteries!
The Emperor gave me a vision.
I am the tutor of macro...
Whispers, guide my hand.
Applaud,
My supremacy is proven once again. Didn't...
What send...
Blood and mayhem shall through chaos I stride. Ruinous favor prevails.
Think success is the only outcome I accept. The best defense is a good offense. This could be an opportunity.
We have look upon the Emperor's faithful and deliver their demise.
Fit for the fond Phalancius, for the glory of...
Empyrean, I will delight my masters with your demise. Let chaos paint the stars red. Your existence is naught but ashes.
Death World. On Death World, the plants, beasts, and sometimes even the environment itself take aggressive and destructive forms of inimical to human life. Wow, exceptionally difficult to colonize. Many Death Worlds possess valuable resources that require an outpost or other human presence upon the planet's surface to harvest. These harsh environments result in some of the hardest and most resilient population in the galaxy. Those tested and found wanting die young. Fortress worlds are planets where the entire populace is immersed in warfare. They constantly train for the day that they may be called upon to defend the Imperium. A charge they solemnly uphold. Fortress worlds are established as bulwarks against enemies. Every citizen is a soldier, trained to fight from the moment they can handle a weapon. Yep. I think this is the one I want. I'm gonna have to go warrior, arch militant, then exemplar. It's
An excellent place for contemplation. One has the best view of the cathedral from here. Mesmerizing, wouldn't you say? An impeccable manifestation of the God Emperor's sublimity.
You are in a dialogue. Here you can learn more about current events, influence characters who speak, and alter their course in game narrative. Your character, personal display, personal story depends on the dialogue choices you make. Available dialogue options displayed on the right. Select blah blah blah. Confirm your choice. My guy's kind of a dick.
I believe there are those among us who share that sentiment. But such is our duty, is it not? To overcome base weaknesses and desires, so as to excel in our service to the God Emperor, the master of humanity. Allow me to introduce myself. Conrad Voigtveer, Master of Whispers, in the employ of Her Ladyship Rogue Trader Theodora von Valencius. At your service. I haven't had the pleasure of speaking with you in person before.
My name's Stain.
My regards, Master. Or should I say, von Valencius, scion of a blessed rogue trader house in the service of the Imperium. Perhaps this kinship came as a shock to you. Understandably so, given that all evidence of the connection was lost in the generations separating you and Lord Captain Theodora. It required no small effort on the part of Her Ladyship's servants to discover and verify this blood tie, which has now made you one of the heirs of this dynasty.
I assumed you had some goal in mind when you decided to seek me out. Let us address it.
But of course, I have come to invite you to a meeting with Lady Theodora. I imagine you have many questions for your patroness, and I'm sure she has just as many questions for you. It is regrettable that you haven't yet had an opportunity to speak. It has been an arduous voyage thus far. The Lord Captain and Master Edelthrad von Valencius are conversing on the observation platform. Let us join them there.
Oh, I can move the camera 360? I didn't think that.
Embrace true power.
Some objects in the games could be interacted with in a special way. They will be marked with a specific icon. Some icons allow you to study objects, others will transfer the character to neighboring locations or launch a small event. These icons become invisible when your character is standing close to them to interact. You can interact with an object by pressing A. You can switch between them with blah blah blah. And then some interactive objects such as the doors, the chests, your critical is highlighted and interactive. You can also bring up a cursor with L3 and come over. A massive console table crafted from the real world of resources.
Powers unseen, uncover my path.
Warp jump was surprisingly uneventful. One of the couple of cycles ago. Now that's tough. The sacred mechanism has been interfaced without due reverence. The duration of the data processing cycle has tripled. Incomprehensible information is displayed. Greetings, my lord.
One of the Fon Valencia's trophy rooms. Perhaps you would like to take a look around after your audience with the Lord Captain.
What's happening?
Run! The servitors have gone berserk!
Rest in peace.
I am the harbinger of discord.
You have been ambushed. To survive in the grim darkness of the far future, you have to face enemies of all kinds and fight for your life. These hints and tutorials will familiarize you with the combat system Warhammer 40K Road Trip. You have been ambushed. Good right. Good right. All battles in the game are turn-based and take place on the grid. On their turn, a character can move and attack and use their abilities. Okay, yeah. That's nice to move in spot. Movement points. Okay.
I reject the very idea. Purpose guides me. I will not stoop to this. One step closer. This is not the end.
Oh no, I might die.
Ruin beckons.
Death to the heretics!
What suspiciously poor timing for such an accident. Servitors malfunction on the officer's deck at exactly the same moment when the rogue trader and her heirs are gathered here. I have blocked all passages between the upper and lower sectors of the residential decks. If
I'm
this
about
is
to
a
die in this
deliberate
tutorial.
attack, it should stop the culprits from advancing their plan. I'm afraid I must remain here. For Lady Theodora's safety, I have to oversee the execution of these orders personally. I hope you will have no difficulty reaching the observation platform on your own. It is just at the end of this corridor.
Let's seize the opportunity.
Proven. But it's hard to wear bowing his head in fear of avoiding you. This exhibit is unfinished. Another symbol of House Von Vickles valor. A crew member is hard at work, bowing his head.
That is simply irrational, Lady Theodora. Assimilation into the trade structure would be political and economic suicide. Practically an admission of heresy.
Then suggest an alternative that will satisfy me. I have described the situation. No worse than my seneschal could have done. Make a decision. What will you do with Ion 6, Edelthrad? While you are considering your answer, Edelthrad, I wish to speak with someone else. Perhaps I shall hear something more interesting than incoherent mumbling. Approach.
What is this? Is this someone from your retinue, Theodora? Do you permit your people to interrupt your conversations in such a fashion?
I give that permission to those with something of substance to say. Let us see if it was worth it. This is the second candidate for the title of my successor. Step forward. Consider this hypothetical situation. Ion 6. A new world on the fringes of the Coronis expanse. High seismic activity, regular magma eruptions, metamorphic rock deposits, prospects for large-scale mining. The world is populated by natives who worship some heretical underworld spirits that protect those who offer them sacrifices. Flights of fancy, you might say, but attempts to install ore extractors have failed for the second time. The mining crews sent to the planet's surface simply vanished overnight. My question to you is, what would you do with this poisoned treasure? Reasonable and prudent. However, chasing after ethereal creatures may prove a rather long and fruitless endeavor.
Apart from Xenos, an untrodden planet might be teeming with myriad horrors that are far more dangerous and difficult to eradicate. I suspect that you are simply unaware of their existence.
I find your tone most disagreeable, Red. You will kindly alter the manner in which you address me, or else you will live to regret the consequences.
Well, I find your company disagreeable, and yet I'm forced to endure such.
Edelthrad, I believe I gave you an assignment on this ship. Explain to me then why my senior congregator is still dawdling about the officer's deck, instead of proceeding to the middle decks to commence the inspection of the compartments in his purview.
I beg your forgiveness, Lady Theodora. Your presence has such a profound effect on me that I well forgot the time.
So, why are you here? You have ceded the opening that was offered to you in a woeful display of meekness. Admittedly, this tendency is equally strong in all who toil in the Emperor's service. Immutable hierarchy, absolute obedience, lick-spittlery, compulsion to please. I value none of these things. From the moment my envoys came for you, the terms of your existence changed. My name is Theodora von Valancius Massimo of Scaris. I am a rogue trader in the service of the God Emperor of humanity. And my rights and freedoms are vindicated by a most sacred relic. The warrant of trade, kept aboard this very vessel. Mine is the honor to venture into the darkness, beyond the Imperium, and carry humanity's light where powers wicked and heretical reign, and bow death and ruin to us all. It is my decision alone to determine the fate of whatever I find past the bounds of the explored void. Every world I discover, along with all there is to find thereon, resources, people, riches, and mysteries, is mine by right. I command millions of lives, rule over numerous planets, and possess fortunes that no planetary governor or commander could dream of amassing. And you are one of those with von Valancius blood in their veins and a rightful claim to this inheritance when the hour comes. Naturally, some have yet to arrive on board, but you have had the pleasure of meeting one of them. Edelthrad may be somewhat disconcerted by the scale of the responsibilities that may potentially fall upon his shoulders. However, I have a good feeling about him as a candidate.
Yucky.
Blood right alone is not enough to earn the high honor of becoming the bearer of a warrant of trade. Nonetheless, your abilities and talents may yet prove useful. If not for the role of Lord Captain, then for that of their closest ally. Alas, even those responsibilities can at times be too challenging for those who share your blood. Kunrad Voitvir served me for many years before he made his mistake. His kinship to me is most distant, as is yours. Nonetheless, he does bear the name von Valancius, even if he avoids using it publicly, and as such, strictly speaking, can be considered my heir. That door, however, is closed to him. Voitvir's performance in his current role is satisfactory. Or it used to be, at least. Oh, yes. You would be, wouldn't you? The question is, am I ready to choose you over the rest? You came aboard hours before the warp jump, and have not yet distinguished yourself in any way. As things currently stand, I have doubts that you are suitable for the role of rogue trader. Impatience. I am rather fond of impatient people. They are not as quick to resign themselves to circumstance and more eager to show initiative. Even if I do choose Edelthrad as my successor, I will still require loyal advisors. The skills and knowledge you acquired in your former life may prove invaluable here, in the Coronis Expanse. One could not in good faith describe your background as one of exemplary service to the Imperium. However, I am intrigued by you and your past. To have survived and prospered between the letters of the law is a rare achievement among those in our circle. You are skilled in the art of taking risks and cutting corners. Trust me when I say that you will have sufficient opportunity to apply this talent for the good of the house. Moreover, your courage has made you far more famous than you yourself probably realize. True feats of heroism will forever live on in the annals of the Imperium and bring honor to the von Valancius line.
Thank you for clarifying. May I ask my questions now?
I have some time before the navigator gives the signal to initiate the void ship's translation out of the warp, and my presence is required on the bridge. The Rykad system, the domain of rogue trader Winterscale, one of my peers, and rivals. Besides me, 2 other rogue traders exist in the Coronis Expanse, and each of them possesses resources comparable to mine. Perhaps you will one day assist House von Valancius in surpassing both of them in affluence and splendor. I set the course for Rykad on the demand for a very specific reason. Perhaps I shall yet apprise you of the purpose for this voyage, but now is not the time.
An incident took place on the officer's deck. Some servitors went berserk and attacked the crew.
Is that so? Perhaps the technomats were careless during maintenance. Or it could be the warp playing tricks on us in spite of the Gellerfield. Or perhaps there is something to all the stories about the ship being possessed after all.
Lady Theodora, for the God Emperor's sake, surely you do not intend to start repeating idle rumors spread about by uneducated riffraff.
Enough, Abelard. Such hearsay amuses me. Idira eagerly retells me everything she learns from the whispers of her unseen advisors. This ship is thousands of years old. It has enough hidden nooks, malfunctioning cogitators, and unused compartments to make ignorant folks speak of specters dwelling inside the bulkheads and plotting against those who yet live. Sometimes I forget that people without direct access to a ship's bridge may not know the first thing about how a void ship travels between the stars. Vessels such as this one are capable of leaving real space and traversing into the warp, an otherworldly dimension of cruel and unthinkable forces. By entering it under the protection of the Gellerfield, we shorten the route to our destination, crossing distances that would require hundreds of years in a matter of weeks instead. Sometimes in days or even hours. That is how humanity spread across the galaxy. That is how we were able to build the Imperium, which spans millions of stars. Observe, learn, absorb. It will take time for you to find your bearings aboard this vessel and in your new position. Eventually, I will find a post that suits you as I did for Edelthrad. Until that time comes, consider yourself my aide. In that case, I shall head to... Disturbances reported on the adjacent decks. Seneschal, if the need arises, protect the new blood. It is possible that the chance to prove your worth may present itself sooner than you may have anticipated.
The absurdity of your struggle amuses me.
You'll make a suitable sacrifice.
For now.
Follow my lead. One fewer tongue. I took care of this one.
My faith strengthens me. Die!
God dang. Use cover to avoid enemies attack. Cover hide behind character receive bonus.
Descend upon the weak. Death shall reign. I will triumph.
Death to non-believers! I serve the ruinous powers! Death to the weak! Ah!
They really want him dead.
For the Imperium!
Pain and duty go hand in hand. Reduced to dust.
Follow my lead. For the glory of
of the Imperium! Purpose guides me. Chaos guides me.
I can handle this. No mercy for him.
A tactically sound approach. One fewer target.
Mort, take a team with you and clear a path to the transport line. Do not let a single whoreson survive. Didn't bat an eye when that scum burst onto the deck, huh? Not bad. I have seen many an officer who panicked at the sight of combat on the upper decks. The false sense of security offered by their position makes them that much more vulnerable to the harsh realities of warp travel.
What are your orders?
Mort has gone on ahead to clear a path for us. If you want to make yourself useful, go after him and see if the Arch-Militant requires aid. And be quick about it.
The world trembles beneath my feet.
Thank Providence you are alive and well.
Always on time, eh, Coonrad? The moment we finish chasing the riffraff around the deck, you show up. Always just after the fighting's done. You could set your chrono by it.
Mort, pull yourself together.
What, did the Lord Captain send you to chivvy us along? We're all done here. I'll report right away.
Master of Whispers, what is happening on my ship? The Voxnet is silent. The Voxmaster is not responding. Armed assailants have stormed the officer's deck, and my arch-militant just destroyed several more heretics on the way here. Is this a severe case of warp madness? Have some of my crew lost their minds and forgotten who they are and whom they serve? Report!
I have not yet received word from the Engineerium regarding any Gellerfield failures, but communications were already unstable half an hour ago, and now they have ceased altogether. Whatever the cause may be, the consequences are spreading fast. I am receiving scattered reports from the middle decks, and the only Voxcasts from the lower bays are one-way heretical gibberish. That the madmen have already reached the officer's deck suggests that this outrage was planned in advance. Perhaps this is an organized mutiny.
Mutiny? But who would attempt a mutiny here in the warp?
Lunatics, fools, heretics. This ship houses thousands upon thousands of people. Pernicious thoughts and warp-induced delusions could have tainted any one of them. It is a difficult notion to accept, but such risks are inescapable. First, we have to confirm that the bridge and the Navigator's Sanctum are secure. And I have the means to do both things at once. Edelthrad, where is he? I must know if he is unharmed. A psyker aboard a ship that is potentially being assailed by the warp could pose a greater threat to himself and others than a whole army of madmen with improvised weapons.
I tried to locate him, but the last thing known about his movements is that he arrived on Transitional Deck 18.
Blast it! Master of Whispers, find Edelthrad immediately. Seneschal, locate Tlas and the Sister of Battle. Both are to remain at my side. Arch-Militant, with me. I must go to my study. And it appears we might encounter heretics along the way.
If I may, Lord Captain. Transitional Deck 18 is at the heart of the disturbance, and if our goal is to bring Edelthrad back, I could use some support. After all, I'm not as adept at directly confronting enemies of the House as the esteemed Arch-Militant, and taking into consideration Edelthrad's psychic powers.
Then it's settled. Find Edelthrad and bring him here. In whatever state you find him. This elevator leads to restricted compartments such as my personal chambers and the bridge. Do not let me down. I require you both. Do you understand?
I hear and obey, Lord Captain.
Then move out! Mort, come.
Are you ready to head to 18? It is a long walk, and you do not even have proper gear.
I shall make do. Lead the way.
Of course you will. Lady Theodora would never have someone she couldn't rely on as one of her heirs. But that is no longer relevant.
What? Promise you a special destiny, Stain. It's time to fulfill it. Betrayer! Heresy!
Careful, careful. Be gentle with our guest. He has an important mission to complete during our visit to the Warrant Chamber. And for that, I need him breathing. Ah, you are back with us, I see. Delightful. How perceptive
You
of
scum!
you. I'll help you with the next insight. I need you here for your blood. You have the option to share it voluntarily, or I will squeeze it out of you myself. We are in the anteroom of the Warring Chamber, this void ship's most hallowed vault. There, Beyond those gates lies the relic that gives Theodora all of her power. The sacred Warrant of Trade. Only one obstacle remains on my path to obtaining it. The gates of the chamber are guarded by the Sentinel. An ancient device that will only open the door to a true heir of the dynasty. I expected to do this part myself, but never mind. You will offer your blood to the Sentinel.
What is inbred? Is your blood too thin for the Sentinel?
On the contrary, the Warp's blessing has raised me too much above your kind, Fon Valencius. The Sentinel refused to submit to me. But you can help. After all, isn't that what family is for?
What sorry, pathetic excuse do you even have for your aposties, you sordid, wretched piece of grok shit?
Wretched? What do you know about wretchedness? Theodora's cur. Are you hoping to buy a grain of her indulgence with your blind loyalty? Oh, I know this delusion. But thank the gods it no longer has power over me. Humanity can rot. I no longer serve mortal kind. Once my work is done, I'll make that pompous... Watch as I sacrifice her entire dynasty and commit their fate to the gods. And you will be the instrument by which I will accomplish this righteous act.
I will do as you require, but I will find a way to make you pay for this, you filth.
I doubt it, my dear. But that's enough talk. Fulfill your destiny.
Carefully inspect the gates, cognitor. What immediately catches your eyes is a strange alloy that is used to make as material for the machine's component, some of which are unfamiliar. You suspect this might be some kind of The servitor on the gate begins to move. With the screeching and groaning of metal, it leans forward, closing on you. It lowers its jaw open with a drawn-out shriek, much wider than the jaw of a living human could. The servitor's mouth is filled with sharp metallic blades that glint in the dim light. The vid screen is the right of the lights, showing strings and mysterious symbols on the green background. A whisper runs through your consciousness, insisting, demanding sacrifices. The voice that you filled your head after Vega wounded you with his blade did not go away. On the contrary, the source coiled itself into a tight knot somewhere in the depths of your mind. The Sentinel's jaws clamp down around your hand, punching your skin and sinking into your flesh. A few dark drops fall into the servitor's throat, and immediately you hear humming as the server motors start up and pumps stir in motion. The vid screen of the cognator flickers. Several long minutes pass, the Sentinel's jaws remain closed, and you begin to feel sick. Perhaps if you were to lean against the gate, you could catch your breath. Maybe even close your eyes and pretend none of this ever happened.
High levels of caustic humors. The subject is in a state of heightened stress. Do you require assistance?
We do not understand where this quiet voice is coming from, crackling like static. Is it the sentinel, the cognitor? Is it a figment of your weary mind? Whichever it is, you can clearly hear every word. Must have lost my mind.
Request accepted. Initiating defense protocol.
Get red.
There is still another way. Intriguing.
Let it be known that by my will and the true words of documents, I appoint this person to be the bearer of warrant trade and bestow upon them their destiny. To be the paragon of humanity, unbroken and absolute, to walk with every person in the darkness, unite and reclaim what is off. To triumph over the nightmares untold, to behold boldly raised to the fate, to walk steadily in the roads of thorns, to fame, to greatness.
Escort the child of the house to safety.
I need to contact someone, preferably Theodore.
Voxcast frequencies disrupted. Initiating setup. Establishing connection.
Voxmaster, restore communication with the navigator's sanctum. I am trying to contact the bridge. If anyone can hear me on this frequency, regroup all available forces and head to the upper decks at once. I repeat, regroup all available forces and head...
Communication protocols breached. Signal latency assessment unavailable. Unable to establish two-way connection. Temporary obnubilation following acute stress. Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel standing by. Mobile unit of the Warren Sentinel designed as a personal escort of the child of the house and a means of communicating with the rogue trader's subjects. Mobile unit standing by.
I need a weapon. I'm utterly defenseless.
Distance from the current location to the nearest arsenal. Initiating situational calculations.
Let's go silent. Relies quickly, second after second passes. Relies service go when I enter.
Middle and upper decks. Assuming the probability of safe placement in areas of concentration of armed units. Calculating. To prevent unauthorized units from breaching the warrant chamber, preemptive sealing must be initiated. The mobile unit will start executing the received order immediately after the safety of the warrant is secured.
As the game story unfolds, you will see notifications at the top of the screen indicating that the status of your current objective has been updated and new information has been added to your journal. You can open the journal from quick access by holding right.
I tread a path unexplored.
Uh-oh.
Run, fools, or fall!
Get wrecked.
Master! Whatever are you doing in the Warren Chamber? How did you... Throne preserve me! What is the meaning of this?
Conrad Valver is a traitor. When we parted ways on the officer deck, he stunned me and somehow brought me here.
What?
He intended to take revenge on Theodore for something, and trying to reach for Warren was somehow part of that plan.
Oh, holy God, Emperor! I presume he is the one responsible for the mutiny. And, Master, I wish to remind you that you are to refer to the Lord Captain as Lady Theodora.
Openly admitted that he...
Absolutely. With the Lord Captain's permission, I shall give you an hour-long lecture on how making use of proper addresses corresponds to showing due faith in the God Emperor's anointed. For now, however, we have more pressing matters on our hands. You're in a bad way. I can treat your wounds. I have a Medicaid kit with me. And, for the love of the throne, now is not a good time to be walking around the decks without means of self-defense. Here.
Fighting, your characters can lose some of their wounds. Your characters wounded for being attacked by an enemy. This happens occurred.
My aspiration.
I am at your service. Let's patch you up.
Your help suffices.
Look no further.
There is a fervor in my soul.
That is a noticeable improvement. Now you're prepared for the trials ahead. The lower decks are teeming with heretics instigating the rabble to revolt. But that is the least of our problems. The ship's enforcers are rounding up the scoundrels and suppressing the resistance. The situation on the middle decks is much worse, although strike teams have already been dispatched there. But that is not the worst of it all. All these jolts and shaking are most alarming. These are signs that the navigator and the master helmsman are having difficulty translating the ship out of the warp and into real space. I fear that they may have already lost control. We must reach the navigator's sanctum and get a handle on the situation. If we can manage that, some aboard this vessel may yet survive. You sent me a Vox message. Specifically, a Vox cast on the officer's frequency, which I had the good fortune to receive. You mean to say you did no such thing?
I think the Warrant Sentinel may have sent that message. It appeared when I opened the chamber.
Warrant Sentinel? The Lord Captain barely ever ventures down to the chamber, and I was at her side only once or twice when she did. And I did not see anything of the sort. The Warrant Chamber is an ancient and rather sacred mechanism that the ship's tech priests treat with the utmost reverence. I assume that whatever it is that you did, you must have activated certain processes and caused the Sentinel to awaken. But then, why did none of it happen when Lady Theodora did the same?
I heard one of Theodora's Vox casts.
Lady Theodora's. Which one? The last one I received was about the Navigator's Sanctum, and that was a good while ago. In any case, let us hope that the Lord Captain is well, and safely in charge of the ship's defense. In the meantime, we must do all we can to prevent the ship from veering off course.
What can we expect to find in a Navigator's Sanctum?
During warp transit, the Sanctum is closed to all who are not involved in traversing the Empyrean. And for good reason. For the Navigator to open their third eye and perceive the way, the Sanctum must be bathed in the energies of the Immaterium. Only a Navigator can withstand such an ordeal. For the rest of us, any contact with the warp is fraught with perils such as loss of sanity, spontaneous mutations, and death. I concur that under ordinary circumstances, interrupting the Navigator's solitude would be equivalent to suicide. Right now, however, our sacrifice could prevent the demise of a rogue trader, a void ship of the Imperium, and all her crew, armaments, and equipment. The choice is obvious. I am no helmsman. Oh, God Emperor preserve me, Navigator. However, I have spent my entire life aboard void ships equipped with warp drives, and I know that portents such as these do not bode well. It could be that the Gellerfield has faltered. Perhaps the Navigator was struck down by warp corruption and is fighting for the last shreds of his humanity as we speak. If we get thrown off course, we will be forever lost in the warp. Naturally, we would likely not have long to live in that scenario. But I will not resign myself to such an outcome just yet. Certainly. This way. The Lord Captain is calling her crew to battle, which means the Vox networks are set up for broadcast transmission, not message exchange. Splendid. While the rogue trader inspires proper resolve to fight in her subjects, you and I shall prove that her trust in us is well deserved. Onward!
Don't you dare to cross us!
Come to chaos!
out of my way!
Crush the feeble.
I need no guidance. What a satisfying demise.
More the better. It will be done.
Chaos guides me. Purpose of blood-soaked tribute. I will triumph.
I've seen worse battles than this in my time. Reduced to dust.
The world will bow.
Your senator.
My ascension has only just begun. embrace true power.
On the threshold of the blinded guide, doom comes from the heavens.
Master, watch your head. Idira, would it be too much to ask that you phrase your soothsayings plainly for once? That was too close.
Sorry, old man. The voices are so loud I can't even hear myself. They shriek, they sing, they... Oh, Abala, how they sing.
This is Idira Tlas, personal psyker and diviner of Her Ladyship Theodora von Valancius. Idira?
I'm not drunk, old man. I'm suffering the effects of the warp that is seeping through these walls. I see the ship's fate. To die in the waves of the immaterium, fall under the burning rays of the final dawn. And in the roaring blaze, I see a figure standing. Who is it? I have no answer. The voices from beyond the threshold whisper to me. Sometimes their murmurs are clear, they grant insight. Sometimes they drive me mad. But I am patient. I know how to listen and discern. But now, with this clamor around me, too many voices, too loud. And you are von Valancius, one of Lady Theodora's heirs. Well then, we finally meet.
Officer's frequency. To all who can hear me, those with a weapon in their hands are to gather on the officer's deck at once. I repeat, gather on the officer's deck at once and prepare to launch a counterattack.
That's Edelthrat. Oh, Emperor's Providence. The other heir lives as well. Quickly, we must head to...
Not so fast, old man. If we drown in the warp, Lady Theodora's heirs won't be any good to us. If Edelthrad's like me and hasn't yet surrendered his mind or body to the mercy of the warp, then he can still hold on a little longer without us.
Blast it. You're right. First, we need to deal with what is happening here.
What are you doing, man?
The whispers called me. The ones I could make out among all the screams and screeches. Those who are rocking this boat hit us where it hurt. They went after the navigator, our guide through the warp. Other whispers called me to the enginarium, but it was too late. I heard the cry of our master Cog, and the silence that followed.
What? You don't mean the Engineer Prime is...
Said, without a doubt. And the voices wail, heralding countless nightmares, cackling at each soul among the hundreds that are now joining the warp. The shriek from the Navigator's sanctum was louder than the rest. And it's better that we saved the Navigator than some lever puller from a cooling module or a cook from the middle decks.
How do you know who I am?
What? You think Lady Theodora didn't ask me to peek into the darkness behind the backs of those she sees as her prospective heirs? seen you. I have seen the footsteps of your past and the wounds of your heart. Oh no. No. Nothing is well about him. Can't you feel the chill crawling on your skin? The eyes watching you? The warp ice has already encased the bulkheads. What follows is calamity. But we're not just going to stand here and take it, are we? The state of things in here suggests there's a navigator around. Maybe one who's crippled or at death's door, but still kicking. And since our skin hasn't peeled off our faces just yet, his third eye must be closed. At worst, it's a little roughed up. So what are we moping around for? Let's go protect that noble mutant while we're still alive.
Dara has joined your party.
Let's seize the opportunity. Fate beckons me. Intriguing.
Hurry, destroy the door.
Blood and mayhem shall be our anthem.
Hold on!
My resolve is unshaken.
Death to non-believers!
Beckons. Purpose.
Serve the ruinous powers!
Anything else? What an unfortunate turn of fate. But of course. Anything is?
Victory is imminent. Mark took care of this one. I will do my duty. Reduced to dust!
Here we go.
One step closer. Purpose gun. What a satisfying demise.
creature in the chair appears to become one with the throne. You see pink parchment-like skin stretched between the seat and the limbs that have too many joints for a normal human being. The navigator is breathing heavily. The air whistling as it exits through the two dark gill-like slits on its cheeks. The creature's eyes are shut. The two ordinary eyes, as well as the third one that sit in the center of its forehead.
I believe Master Vespider still lives. Well, the servants are dead, but the chamber, thank the Emperor, is still sealed from the warp. Well, we have a chance of leaving this place alive.
What's wrong with them?
Wounded. Exhausted. Fighting back the endless horrors of the warp that are forcing their way into his head. Pick one.
Your time is short.
Short to do what?
Fall to your knees, mortals, and behold the final dawn.
Ah! It came from beyond! His body is not his!
Its march thunders under the burden of hopes. I'll seal your hearts, and I will flood your souls with myriads of words and meanings, each one a portent of salvation within me. Run. Flee from this place while I still have the strength. I can contain the intrusion, but not for long. We must begin the translation. Leave the warp. But it can't be done without the Master Helmsman's help.
Could not bear to see him in the agony anymore. I'd rather put an end to it.
You can't! It's only thanks to Master Vespider that we're still alive. If he falls, this whole ship is doomed. Let him do his duty. You know it's the last thing he'll ever do. If he lasts that long.
The ship can only begin the translation with the assistance of the Master Helmsman, if he is still alive. It is worth a try. We must get to the bridge, but we will need support. Our only option is to fight our way to the officer's deck and join forces with Edelthrad and his people. I believe we will also find Lady Theodora there. She must have heard the call to arms that the servos gold relayed to us earlier.
Vespiders, good luck. And thank you.
The world trembles beneath my feet. world will bow. Embrace true power. Ship's as good as ours. It's all over for you.
I
shall pity not your enemies. I shall heed not their pleas.
Somebody shoot this.
I shall betray not your tenets, nor stray one step from them. Take not your gaze from me. Leave me not without your grace.
I told you he would protect us.
My God, my light, my Emperor.
The white-haired warrior turns to face you. Her dark eyes blaze. The weapon quivers in her hands, and for a brief moment, it seems she's not going to stop, but will instead continue limiting every target as she sees, starting with you.
Sister Argenta! Sister Argenta, it is a relief to see you. We require all the forces we can muster.
Your face. It is unfamiliar. Who are you?
Lord Captain
The hour is dark and daunting. Ship abounds with corruption. The faces of friends are twisted by sneers of heresy. The eyes of comrades ignite with the archenemy's hunger. I will do what I must to halt the advance of the dark forces. But in these dire moments, little can be trusted. So I must know, why are you here?
Sister, I beg of you. Now is not the time for interrogations. The ship is under attack by heretics. We've been betrayed by our esteemed Master of Whispers. Edelstrat the Heir is waiting for our aid, and Lord Captain Theodora is expecting a report on our success. We are here to deal with the situation, so I suggest we all do just that.
I am no traitor, sister. You can be sure of that.
If you speak truthfully, the Emperor will not forsake you. If you are lying, you will not escape his retribution. I cannot wait to rain righteous fire down upon each and every heretic.
Sister Argenta is a guest of the Lord Captain. And that story deserves its own time and conversation. Under more appropriate circumstances.
Enough idle chatter. I am where I must be, and that will suffice.
Who are these people with you?
Overseer of Middle Deck AL-84, my lord. We were rounding up everyone we could find in the attack compartments when we ran into an ambush. Just about every enforcer fell. These are the survivors.
What's happened on the officer?
Massacre, my lord. And heretics are not just killing the crew. Some kind of blight is sweeping through the decks, filling the air. I saw people going mad the moment they breathed it in, screaming about seeing their dead comrades, tearing out their eyes. I implore you, my lord, be on your guard.
So let's get to the main hall of
Through
the
this
deck.
door. I shall join you, for it is my duty to the God Emperor to destroy this heresy.
We will follow. For now, we will hold off any heretics who might try to crawl in through the cracks to join the main assault. And we'll take a look at the generators while we're at it. Those villains made a mess of the cables. Oh, I wish we had a Texamat with us. But we'll see what we can do without one.
Good to hear it. Sister?
Ready. May Terra's light illuminate our path through fire and darkness.
Powers unseen uncover my path. Let's seize the opportunity. He'll make a suitable sacrifice.
Guided by faith!
Who gets taught you to fight like this?
beckons. Accept my offering. I will triumph.
Death to the weak!
At your beck and call. It will be done.
Chaos guides me! Your blood will flow! Out of my way!
Was that you? Very well.
Chaos guides me! Death to non-believers!
I serve the ruinous powers!
I serve the ruinous powers!
This is unacceptable. That is not the Emperor's will. Doubt is for the weak. None can escape the Emperor's judgment.
purpose guides me. Death to the weak!
My ears are ringing.
Chaos guides me.
At your beck and call.
Out of my way!
Anything else? The enemies of the Emperor will be undone. Each strike is a prayer.
I need no guidance. I will. Death shall reign.
That is not my destiny. Cover me! As the Emperor commands, I act. God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart!
Through chaos, I stride. What a satisfying demise. Intriguing. How fascinating. Predictable. The world trembles beneath my feet.
It won't open.
A melter charge will help. There's probably one around here somewhere.
The world will bow. There is a
We are the spearhead.
Yes? Should I
join me in prayer? When the faithful are idle, heresy grows. Sins hidden.
My ascension has only just begun. I tread a path unexplored. Fate beckons me. Let's seize the opportunity. Triumphant, as always. Ruinous favor prevails. Perfection. Triumphant as always. Intriguing.
The Emperor favors me today. There is
what advice?
My aspirations transcend.
I am at your service.
Fate beckons me.